All right. So I just did an entire video that I am re-recording right now because I forgot that I had a switch toggled on this and forgot to mention a few other details. So basically, this is my new microphone. It is the Electro Voice RE320. I'm upgrading from an Audio-Technica AT2020. This is like a $100 mic. This is a $300 mic. I got it for about I think $178 off an eBay auction, and that's including shipping and stuff like that. So, um, pretty decent deal. A lot of used, I guess, but pretty decent discount from the full price of buying it new in retail. Um, and this is the microphone. So I currently have the filters enabled for the AT2020 that I was using before in my OBS. So I'm just gonna turn them off here right now. So this is how the microphone sounds like out of the box with no filters enabled. I have Windows gain set at like 65 or 70, and then I have my Focusrite at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the gain dial, and then I have the air and instrument enabled. So I'm actually gonna turn off the instrument and the air, and so this is how the microphone sounds with like nothing except for those gain settings. Um, Beforehand, and I'll turn them on right now actually, this is the 3-band equalizer, noise suppression, expander, and compressor and limiter. So I've enabled all of those, and the settings that I have on that are specifically the settings I was using before for my AT2020. And so, yeah, this is a dynamic microphone, pretty much meant for content creators. The RE20 is kind of like the bigger brother. That one's a much more expensive mic, a much more like famous and like sort of like a legacy mic for broadcasting and radio and stuff like that. Whereas like the SM7B is kind of like pretty popular right now for content creators, podcasters, streamers, all that stuff. But also pretty popular in the music world. And so again, the Electro Voice counterpart is kind of popular in like the radio world. But that's kind of like a brief overview, I guess, of this microphone and like the brand and stuff. And beforehand, I had this condenser microphone, the Audio-Technica AT2020. This is a pretty decent budget mic. It's $100. It's a condenser microphone, so the polar patterns are different. It uses phantom power and stuff like that. And the reason I got this microphone is number one, it looks so much better. I love the way this thing looks compared to my AT2020 with the pop filter and the shock mount. I don't know. It's whatever. I don't know. It's kind of mid, to be honest. The sound is fine, and you could do plenty more stuff to it. But I'm talking about like the looks right now. I like the way this thing looks much more. But it's a dynamic microphone, which means it's going to be better for an untreated room or for a undesirable environment for recording. So it pretty much picks up primarily mostly what's in front of it and less more so what's around it. And with condensers, you're kind of getting a lot more details, but you're also picking up more in your area. And so like in this bedroom, I have 4 blackout curtains, a twin size bed with 2 pillows and a blanket. And I have like 2 rugs. So, I mean, it's pretty decent stuff, but at the same time, I don't live alone and stuff like that. So I don't know. I just felt like a dynamic microphone would be favorable for my living situation. And beforehand, I had this AT2020. Before that, the microphone I would have had was like a Blue Snowball, and any other microphones in between have been headset microphones. So um, we're sort of getting better and better, I guess. So Blue Snowball, then my first XLR mic being the AT2020, which is a condenser mic, and now I'm here with the RE320, which is a dynamic microphone of a higher quality for a higher price. And so I have it on a desktop stand with a shock mount here, which you kind of don't really need, but I like shock mounts, so I kind of just got one, and this is a pretty inexpensive one. The official ones from Electro Voice themselves, it's like $100. It's way too expensive, and it's far better for like a radio room where you're not really showing a camera, because that thing is huge. It's like a massive like shock mount system, but it's very good. And there's like another company that makes one for like $69, so it's a little cheaper, but it still has the same issue. It's pretty big, not really ideal for a camera environment where you're like recording video, unless that's like the aesthetic you're going for. But like I'm not in a broadcast room, I'm not going for radio vibes, so I don't really want that. And even then, I'm still thinking about getting a different arm for this. The boom arm I had from AT2020 it's a pretty cheap arm. I don't really trust it for this type of microphone that I spent this much money on. And then this desktop stand is doing pretty well. However, I don't really like this whole thing right here where it's kind of like blocking me. I have a lot more, or I do have freedom. I have less freedom than my boom arm gave me. But it's also cool having it like centered in my face instead of like off to the side, aimed at my face. So there's that. But now that I have this style of microphone, it's just like this is kind of where you would want a boom arm, I feel like, because I feel like this is kind of like a cool look, but I don't know. And the main issue with the boom arm, in my opinion, is just the fact that I have monitors. So I mean, if I had it over here, it wouldn't be such a big deal, maybe, but it's still definitely my peripheral vision, kind of like right here, and also it's blocking me on the camera, of course. But I don't know. You can also just adjust the camera. Who knows? So what I'm thinking is I might get the Elgato low profile arm, which is pretty much the best of both worlds, having sort of like a boom arm type of way of using it, but also it being centered like a desktop stand. So the best of both worlds being the boom arm and the desktop stand. So it'd be centered like right here pretty much. But this wouldn't be an issue, and I would actually have my freedom still. And when I'm not using it, I could pretty much just like maneuver it off to the side behind the monitor or whatever. And so me having like this monitor set up with these arms behind them and stuff would probably fit in with a low profile arm as opposed to a boom arm, which like would be sort of right here anyways when I'm not using it, or over here. So yeah, anyways, I wanted to make this video just to show off the microphone, and I'm going to tweak some settings eventually and, you know, start using this mic for videos again as I make more videos and, you know, get more free time to make videos. But yeah, pretty much just showing off this microphone, giving my first impressions. And yeah, I could compare it with the AT20 right now if I wanted to, but like I have streams on my channel where I use this mic with settings before. So like if you want to see that, you could just check out those videos on my channel. I want to keep this video pretty short. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.